Okay. Morning, guys. So this is going to be the activity you have to send me, okay, next week. It's about education, suffix, cognates in the review for mock test, right? This is the content for our mock test next week. We have nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. I gave you the page, but you also can consult in another books or sites and so on, okay? The other one, get expressions and definitions. The page here, you also can check, you can also study by another means, right? The suffixes, the cognates, past continuous, preposition plus ing form, and the page. Here, guys, the answers from the last activity, right? We talked about Malala, right? And I chose a text for you, and we have some questions, and the answers are here. So letter A, if you don't agree with that, we can discuss in the end, right? The first one, because she demanded that girls be allowed to receive an education, right? We are talking about Malala. Letter B, when Malala was on the school bus, she was shot in the head by a Taliban gunman, right? She never stopped fighting for education. So these are the possible answers for that questions, okay? Page 74, we have noun, verb, adjective, and adverb. This is one of the content of for our mock test. Nouns, verb, adjectives, and adverbs. So pay attention, guys. As a noun, we have the word education. What is the verb for this noun? Educate, right? And the adjective for the noun education, educated. And the adverb, educationally, right? So we
Teacher.
have another, just a minute, okay? We have another nouns here. Thinking is a possible noun, okay? We have here in your box, okay? I didn't create this exercise. This is from your box. The verb for that is the word think. The adjective is thinking, right, with ing, and the adverb, that is no adverb for this noun, okay? And we also have more nouns, and you can check in your answers, right? Um, Page 75, we have a sentence, right? And you were supposed to complete the sentence, okay? New ways of thinking changed education. Schools started teaching more than just reading and math. They needed to help children to be good citizens and workers. And here, guys, we have a preposition of, right? And the verb in the ing, okay? This is something that we also have in our mock test, according here with our content here, okay? Prepositions plus ing form, okay? But we have another examples for that. Number two, we have two guys, a pink one and a blue one, just an example, right? With different ideas, okay? And the question that we had here was about get the point. Get the point means to understand, right? So did the guy, the pink guy, get the point? So did the guy, the pink guy, understand that? So if you check here, you can see that they are not having a good conversation, right? They are not understanding each other, so they didn't get the point, they didn't understand. Okay, this is something related to get expressions and definitions, right? We have more examples on page 75, right? Here, the answers, letter B, letter D, letter A, and letter C, with more expressions using get, okay? The other one, it was a personal answer, and we can discuss. I saw some very nice answers. Some students gave nice answers. I like it very much. But in the end, you can share with us, okay? Page 76, there is a text, the development of Western education in Europe and the Americas, right? A text about education, right? According to the text, what is education for? It's a personal answer. You can tell me, you also can answer, you can tell me in the end of our video class, right? And the purple box, the expression gets the plus ing form. And the example here, education is important for giving us knowledge about the world. So we have here the preposition, right? And you have here the ing form, right? We have more examples here on page 77. Biology, but you could have said, you could have written another discipline, another subject, okay? But I gave you an example. Biology, the subject, it belongs to sciences. The example, plants, right? And the purpose, plants are part of biology in the area of, you have here, sciences. Plants are important for producing oxygen. Here, guys, we have a preposition and we have the verb with ing, okay? So this is the end of our last activity, okay? If you want to discuss that, we can do it in the end. And this, the second part, is where we start our review, okay? We have the suffix here. So let me show you, let's review because we've already seen that. Suffix or. What's the meaning of that? Is one who. For example, we have the word teacher. This is a suffix of the word the word teach, the suffix right, is one, is someone who teaches, right? So this is an example for the suffix using Another suffix that's very common is able or able. The meaning of that is capable of being. For example, we have forget, the word, right? Unforgettable. Able here, the suffix, is something capable of being not forget, right? And another suffix is d or ed. This is the easiest one because we've already seen that. It forms the past, right? When you add ed or d in the end of the word, it means you were forming a past tense. For example, loved, right? He loved someone, for example. So we have here the suffix ed, right? Sorry, the suffix d. And here added, we have the suffix ed, okay? Another one, ing, okay, is forming a gerund and meaning an act of, meaning jogging. So here we have the suffix ing here, and also here jogging, this suffix, right? And this is the meaning, forming a gerund. The other suffix, ment, so the act, appointment, government, okay? So we have here an example of this suffix, okay? It can be the act, appointment is the act of appoint, right? Is government is the state or is a result of something, of govern, right? So we have government. So the last one, the last suffix here, you can say if, I-V-E, okay? It's the meaning when you have a word with the suffix having the quality of. For example, creative, right? It means the person who has creativity, right? And we have this suffix here. So as you can see, you have the suffix in the end of the words, right?
Teacher.
So uh, just write down your question, right? And in the end, you tell me, I'll ask you.
Não, não é é uma
Just a
pergunta.
minute, please. Just a minute. And in the end, guys, as you can see, we have here is the content of suffix, right? Uh, so is one more that you can see here. Okay. And here, a very brief explanation. What are suffixes? Suffixes are a group of letters that are added at the end of the words. Suffixes change the meaning or purpose of the words. For example, care is a word, right? And when you add full, it is careful. So you change the meaning, okay? Careful is not the same of care. And it also changed the purpose of the words, okay? So it's the job, right, of the suffixes. So it means full of care, right? If you have your books, please open that to page 78 here, guys. Okay. There is a brown box, okay, page 78, and we have some alternatives. For example, a book, I'm gonna read that for you. A book that contains a lot of information is very, so here I gave you the first answer for that. A book that contains a lot of information is very informative. Okay, so we have here a word with a suffix, right? So in the other ones, you have number one, number two, number three, and number four. You just have to underline or circle, okay? Another content for our mock test is the cognates. Cognates, just to remember, is just a review, are words that belong to different languages, but are identical or very similar to each other in spelling and meaning, okay? And if you check, if you see on page 79, we have an exercise that you can see, you can observe here some cognates, and you have to circle or underline that. Okay, we have some cognates here. Easy peasy, guys. So I will read that for you, the words that is on page 79. Education is our passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs only to the people who prepare for it today. Okay, so you have to circle the words that are cognates, right? And the first one, easy peasy, I did for you, education. Okay? And talking about education, as we started with Malala, now let's see an example of a very famous school, okay? A program here about a school. You can copy the link, this link here, or you can type that, you can Google that, the I Promise method, and you will find this, okay? Just to visit, just to know the school, a very nice school, okay? And you have to answer here, what is the site about? You read that and you answer here. And who created the school? Very easy, because after that I give you the answer. If you see, if you go, the other exercise is on page 79, the text here that is basketball superstar LeBron James opens new school in old neighborhood, right? So you have to read the text and answer here. What is it? Where can it be found, right? So you answer that according to the text. And I ask you, if you are with your books, to go to page 80, and we have here some questions about that, okay? About LeBron, about the school, okay? And you just have to tell me. The first one, what was LeBron first day of school like? I gave you the answer, okay? So number one is not necessary to do, only number 2, 3, and 4, right? So here we can practice the theme that is education. Now, another part of our review is about this. Pay attention. When cultural online fair organized by students of Fleming 7th grade on May 18th at 10:30 happened, what were these people doing? Look this, guys. We have 3 people, they are sleeping. So you can say, when the cultural online fair organized by students, by 7th grade students of Fleming, they were sleeping. The second picture, letter B, we have a girl. What was she doing? Okay, we have a girl here, and you have to answer according to that. Okay, and letter C, what was he doing? You pay attention to the picture and you answer that. This, guys, is about what? This, why did I ask you that? Because we are going to practice past continuous tense. Okay, what is that? Uh, we have 2 sentences and both are in the past. Okay, let me show you how it works. In the affirmative, the past continuous, you use the subject, here, she, okay? You use was or were, it depends on the subject, and the verb with ing. For example, she was cooking all the morning. So we have the subject here, we have was or were, and we have the verb using ing, okay? In the negative form, we have the subject, she or he or I or you, whatever, was or were, plus not, plus the verb with ing. For example, she was not sleeping when he came home. So we have the subject here, we have was and not or wasn't, and the verb with ing. In the interrogative, guys, we use the auxiliary was or were in the beginning of the sentence, okay? As all the questions in English, right? So we have was she sleeping when he came home, right? So we have here the verb, the auxiliary in the beginning, and the main verb with ing, okay? So this is the if you have any question, please write down and you answer and you ask me in the end, right? Why did why we are talking about that? Because on page 81, we have a green box here. Let me show you these parts. And they're talking about past continuous, okay? This box here. The first one I did for you. So they are comparing past simple and past continuous. As we've already seen past simple, I just worked past continuous, okay? And the other one is also about past continuous, okay? The brown box, you can practice past continuous, okay? The first one I did for you. Ellen was studying for 3 hours yesterday. So we have here the subject, Ellen or she, right? Was the auxiliary in the past and the main verb with ing. Okay, so this is the past continuous, is one of the things we are gonna have in our mock test, as I just type it here, past continuous. Okay, now guys, I'll stop sharing and let's see your questions. Let's see that. Okay. Tell me your questions. You raised your hand. Now let's see that.